You lie down exhausted at 11 p.m. By 1 a.m., you're awake, stumbling to the bathroom. By 3 a.m., you're up again. By 5 a.m., you've lost count. And when your alarm goes off at 7, you feel like you haven't slept at all. Because you haven't. Not really. You've spent the entire night in this cycle of shallow sleep, interrupted every 90 minutes, by your bladder screaming for attention. And if you're like most men, dealing with this, you've tried everything. You stopped drinking water after 6 p.m. You went right before bed. You even set strategic alarm times to try to stay ahead of it. But nothing works. Because the issue isn't how much you're drinking or when you're drinking it. The issue is an organ the size of a walnut that's putting constant pressure on your bladder 24 hours a day, your prostate. And what's happening at night is just the most visible symptom of a much bigger problem that's affecting your sleep, your energy, your hormones, and potentially your sexual function too. Here's what's actually happening inside your body every single night. Your bladder is designed to hold a reasonable amount of urine and signal when it's appropriately full. When you're younger, that signal comes maybe once during the night, if at all. But when your prostate starts to enlarge, which happens to the majority of men after 50, it sits right below your bladder and starts pressing upward. Think of your bladder like a water balloon. Normally, it can expand to hold a decent volume before the pressure triggers the signal to empty. But when something is pressing on it from below, that balloon can't expand properly anymore. Even a small amount of fluid creates enough pressure to send the urgent signal. That's why you're waking up every hour or two, even though you're producing very little urine each time. Your bladder physically cannot hold what it used to hold because the available space has been compromised. And here's what makes this particularly exhausting. This isn't just about the number of times you wake up. It's about what those interruptions do to your sleep architecture. Your body needs to cycle through deep sleep and REM sleep to actually restore itself. Those cycles take about 90 minutes. But if you're waking up every 90 to 120 minutes, you're constantly getting pulled out of deep sleep right when your body needs it most. You never complete a full restorative cycle. Your brain never gets the cleanup it needs. Your muscles never get full recovery. Your hormones never get properly regulated. Over time, this compounds in ways most men don't connect. You wake up feeling exhausted, even after 8 hours in bed. Your focus during the day is shot. Your mood becomes irritable. Your patience thins. And here's the part that surprises most men. Your testosterone levels start dropping because testosterone production happens primarily during deep sleep. When you're not getting deep sleep consistently, your body literally cannot produce adequate testosterone. Lower testosterone doesn't just affect energy and mood, it directly impacts sexual function. Libido decreases, erectile quality declines. The very same enlarged prostate that's waking you up at night is also creating a hormonal environment that undermines sexual performance during the day. Everything is connected to this one underlying issue. This is just information to help you understand the mechanism. It's not a diagnosis and doesn't replace consulting a healthcare provider. But understanding what's driving these symptoms helps you recognize that this isn't just an inconvenience. This is a progressive issue affecting multiple systems in your body. Now, here's what most men do when they realize they're waking up 5 or 6 times every night. They adapt. They accept it as part of getting older. They plan their evening around it. They make sure they know where every bathroom is when they leave the house. They stop traveling because sleeping somewhere unfamiliar with an unfamiliar bathroom layout creates anxiety. Their entire life slowly reorganizes around this one symptom. Some men try medications that are supposed to help with urinary frequency, and sometimes those provide minor relief. But they don't address why the bladder is under constant pressure. The prostate is still enlarged, the inflammation is still there, the space is still compromised, so the relief, if it comes at all, is partial and temporary. Here's what happens if this continues without addressing the root cause. The prostate continues to enlarge. The pressure on your bladder increases. What's 5 times a night now becomes 6, then 7. The sleep deprivation compounds. The testosterone drops further. The fatigue becomes chronic. And what was manageable exhaustion becomes something that significantly impacts your quality of life, your relationships, and your overall health. This is a progression urologists see constantly. It doesn't plateau on its own. Without intervention, it worsens gradually over months and years. And the longer it continues, the more entrenched the problem becomes. So what actually makes a difference? The only approach that addresses this at the root level is comprehensive support for your prostate itself. When prostate inflammation is reduced, the tissue begins to shrink slightly. Not dramatically, but enough that the upward pressure on your bladder starts to ease. When that pressure decreases, your bladder can expand more normally again. The constant urgent signals calm down. You start sleeping in longer stretches. Most men who take this approach notice changes in stages. The first thing they typically report is sleeping 1 hour longer without waking. Then it becomes 2 hours. Then they start having nights where they sleep 4 or 5 hours straight, something they haven't experienced in months or even years. Their energy during the day starts returning. Their mood stabilizes, they stop planning their entire life around bathroom access. Everything improves together because it's all connected to that same underlying issue. But this requires more than just one element. The most effective approach combines multiple components working simultaneously: natural compounds that reduce inflammation deep in prostate tissue, ingredients that improve circulation so the area gets proper blood flow, support for hormonal balance to help control prostate size, antioxidants that protect cells from the oxidative stress that's been building up. When all of those work together, the body has what it needs to respond. Expectations need to be realistic. This is gradual. Most men start noticing changes somewhere between 4 and 8 weeks. Some see improvements sooner. Some take longer depending on how severe the enlargement is and how consistent they are. But the pattern is remarkably consistent. Support the root cause properly, and the body has the capacity to restore more normal function. Doing nothing is the choice that virtually guarantees this gets worse. Every month that passes with your prostate under this level of inflammation and stress, the problem becomes more embedded. Your sleep continues to suffer. Your testosterone continues to drop. Your quality of life continues to decline. And what's difficult now becomes significantly harder to reverse if you wait. Taking action while the issue is still at a manageable stage gives your body the best chance to respond and recover normal sleep patterns. In the description below, there's a link explaining a comprehensive natural approach that addresses everything discussed here. It's not about masking symptoms, it's complete support for your prostate at the foundational level so the pressure on your bladder can decrease, sleep can return, and energy can be restored. If this video described your nights, if you're exhausted from years of interrupted sleep, that link is your next step. Before you go, drop a comment. How many times are you waking up each night? Your comment helps other men realize they're not alone, and that improvement is actually possible.